Got a question up on our Facebook page. Utah beats Baylor to continue their streak of just crushing teams. Are the Utes actually going to pull this off? Which this?
Yeah.
This, I thought that was excellent. I figured there were at least 3 questions in one then. You quite the wordsmith, crafting that and weaving them all together. If the this is, are they going to finish 10-2? Well, yes, we've thought that for a while, and we still think that. That's not the this. Are they going to go to the Big 12 Conference title game? Probably not. Are they going to get to the playoff? Possibly, but I do agree with what you said earlier. Oklahoma went a long way towards punching their ticket with that road win in Alabama.
You got to acknowledge that.
Yeah, as long as they don't mess up one of these last 2 games, which on paper they shouldn't, right, then Oklahoma's going to get in. Notre Dame went a long way towards punching their ticket, beating Pitt. As long as they don't mess up one of these last 2 games.
Although I don't think beating Pitt is any big deal.
No, but it was the last hurdle, and they're Notre Dame, and they're going to have 10 straight wins, and they're going to get in.
I think the Utes can go back there.
And beat Pitt, too. Yeah.
Utah is a playoff-worthy team. I'm going to ask the old man that today.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to preface it. I'm going to say, listen, dog, I know you're going to give me we're only focused on Kansas State. But put that nonsense aside for 1 second. Do you think right now, the way this team is playing, is it a playoff-worthy team? The answer in my mind is yes. Scally looking like he's blitzing 14 guys on every play. Yeah, they are. I think they are.
That'd be a cool strategy. Who would notice?
And if we're going to overlook some other teams' early season losses, why shouldn't we overlook the Utes one? It's just one. Going to Provo and losing by 3, it's akin to Tech going to Tempe when the Tempe team had its guys and you lost by 4. Whoop-de-doo. So what? Who cares? It may keep you out, but it shouldn't. I get you don't want to have an acceptable loss and all that stuff, but the game was played, and yeah, BYU, we should have done this, we should have done that, but Utah can play that game too. And the Texas Tech loss, it stinks. It's there. You can't erase it, nor should you. But as I said earlier, just a few minutes back, the Utes have more weapons. It was early in the season. You had a couple of freshmen. Now these guys are integrated into the offense. The Flickster is just an incredible player, it looks like. I don't know what kind of quarterback he's going to be. He's probably going to be a typical Utah quarterback who runs. And if they lose a game and they couldn't throw the ball, and it's the same old story. But the kid is an electric runner, that's for sure. And so they, in my mind, are playing well enough to be included. I don't know that they will, and maybe they won't. And those losses obviously would be something that would stand in the way. But if I'm going to judge teams on, Notre Dame has won 10 in a row, I sort of think that we need to look at the same parameters for everybody.
That sounds good, but now we're starting to use the word fair, and you've told us that doesn't happen, and Notre Dame's going to get the benefit of that.
I didn't say fair. I never said fair.
You avoided the word, but you implied it.
I don't like to avoid you.
If they pull this off, which also comes down to do they get help, what do you think of the odds of Oregon being a team that gets out of the way?
Who the crap is Oregon beat? Who they beat? Now you can argue who has Utah beat, for that matter.
Oregon's big win is Penn State.
And that ain't a big win. A 4-6 team.
Iowa. My stand corrected. Iowa's
6-4.
Yep.
Oregon is just basically a hooker.
I mean, come on. Everybody is now. That's old.
Minnesota 6-4 also. Those are their wins over winning teams.
Wow, geez. Let's give Lanning some more millions.
Wisconsin, Rutgers, Penn State,
He beat Minnesota.
State.
Holy freak.
Yeah.
At home, no less.
Their wins are over a couple of 6-4 teams.
I seen that game Friday. So Oregon's there on rep. We got to have Oregon. Of course we have Oregon. We always have Oregon.
Utah's best win, Cincinnati and ASU. I mean, ASU didn't have the quarterback, so I guess Cincinnati then becomes the best win.
I think Cincinnati is their best win.
7-3 Cincinnati.
I think Utah's best win is the margin of victory, where they've just dominated game after game after game. They lead the league in style points with these 50, 60, 70-yard runs. Like, wow. That's what gets you. And they have a rep. They don't have the Notre Dame rep, obviously. They'll never have the Notre Dame rep because very few do, if any. But they do have a rep, and that's not supposed to count. But you're talking with humans. You're talking about humans when they go in there.
Alabama lost to East Illinois. You think there's any chance, Alabama has Eastern Illinois left after this Oklahoma loss and Auburn. You think there's any chance they mess up?
No.
Because they're sitting on 2 losses.
And this is the week where we annually complain about the SEC playing a bunch of crappy teams.
Yep.
And Herb Street says, why not just have a bye? I mean, it's Groundhog Day all over again. We hear it every year at this time.
Yeah.
And every year it happens, although they're going to go to 9, so maybe it won't happen. Right?
Well, maybe they'll choose to use their game there, but they won't have 2 of them. Because they traditionally have a gimme in September and a bye in October and a gimme in November.
At this time of year, when there's a fever pitch for the sport, it ought to be not allowed, disallowed. No. That's what BYU and Utah should play on this week.
So Utah with 2 losses will get potentially left out here, while Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Alabama with 2 losses will get in. That's the way it looks.
On a theory, I can see your theory, and I don't know that. But you said that's the way it looks. That's not. You're not saying I guarantee it,
right?
But you're saying that's the way it looks.
Somebody could get left out of that group, and somebody in that group could still stumble and have some hideous third loss.
Maybe so.
Doesn't seem likely.
You know, the thing about it is, for the Utes, are they better to not go to Arlington and lose?
I don't see how they get in if they go to Arlington and lose.
Right.
With a third loss.
So do you really want to go to Arlington? Is your chance better to go 10-2 with all these dominant wins? Because they should have 2 more dominant wins. I would think the line against Kansas State's got to be about 15.
I think they're going to want to go because I think they're going to go into conference championship. No, yes, of course they're going to want to go. You're right. But I think to that point about risking the third loss, I think by the time they get there, they'll see we're on the outside looking in. So we need to win this game to get in. We need the opportunity to win it to get in. Because you can go into that weekend, if they go with the theory they went with last year about we're not penalizing SMU for losing the ACC championship game, then no one can be penalized that last week.
But
and you're not playing, you can't be rewarded.
Utah is not SMU. Utah doesn't need some theory to get them in.
No, the team that would be SMU would be whoever is in front of Utah that is playing on the last weekend.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I get that. And SMU, I think Utah in that theory would have a better rep than whoever SMU is this year, if it happens.
Okay. I see where you're going. You're under the assumption that they're already in, as SMU was, that they're already above the line when they get that weekend. I'm figuring, although they could get the help, they won't, so they'll be below the line going into that weekend, and they're going to have to help themselves.
And that very well could be true. In fact, I would probably lean towards that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about if one of those other teams
if some of these
lost.
other teams slip, and so Utah gets to 10 in the college football rankings, which is where they're going to have to be to get into the 12-team playoff, it looks like, with an ACC and group of 5 teams coming in from
and
lower
ultimately,
spots.
that's the only one that matters.
Yeah.
In these Tuesday night spiels is that last one in December. So see what you got there and go from that perspective. The good thing is if Utah doesn't get to Arlington and is left out, they'll never get as much run as they're going to get that Sunday. Everybody's going to cry, Utah got hosed, Utah this, Utah. Yeah. Only the SEC absolute homers. You can't keep knocking on the door for like 6-7 seasons and not get respect. And anybody who says, oh, Utah, shut the heck right up. Because what more do you want? I mean, there most of the time. You want NFL guys? We got NFL guys.
Yep.
You want Pro Bowlers? We got Pro Bowlers. Whatever you use to measure your greatness, we, speaking from the Utah perspective, we got it over here too. The only thing they didn't have is they didn't have a backup quarterback. And if you could find a way to get a winning record in conference with a backup quarterback, then you are freaking awesome.
That's for you Arizona State fans out there. You just picked up the.
We don't need no freaking excuses. Our quarterback was hurt.
Picked up the pitchfork and
we still win. I'm telling you right now.
Okay. Except in Utah.
They don't win them all.
Oh, okay.
They didn't win them all last year.
Nice. Good recovery.
But we don't have a season of whining. Look at the injuries. Devils sent 6 guys to Tempe, or not to Tempe, to Dallas for the Big 12 media. Mm-hmm. 4 of them have season-ending injuries.
That's bad, right?
That sucks. But that's the only mark on Utah is last year they couldn't get it done because of the injuries. But injuries happen, and obviously they had it at the most crucial position. But that's on them. You got to find a way to have a backup ready to go. And the Devils got lucky in terms of Sims being a 6-year guy wanting to stay around.
Well, they didn't have to play 5 different quarterbacks. The year they played 5 different quarterbacks, it didn't go well.
But that just means you don't have a backup. They didn't have a starter.
No, but the other guys get hurt. I thought, didn't the other guys get hurt when they went deep? I mean, Utah had other guys get hurt.
Quarterback? Uh-huh. You're talking 2 years ago?
For ASU, yes.
But they didn't have a quarterback.
Oh, they literally didn't have. That's when they go to.
Whoever they had, they didn't have anybody.
Yeah. And then it ends up being Scatterbo at the end.
They didn't have one.
They ran out of bodies at the position.
They started with out of bodies. They weren't good enough at the start. Yeah. That Rashada kid, where is he now? Where is he? Sacramento State?
Sacramento State.
Does he play? He's another one of those Utah, California kids that are supposed to be 4 stars, and they bounce around to 15 different schools and never do a darn thing.
If I'm not mistaken, he started all year, but Sacramento State's like middling to bottom tier big sky.
Yeah, and he's on his 3rd school, and he's like a sophomore. I mean, the point was they didn't have anybody, which is what Utah didn't have behind Cam last year.
Even though they had the injuries, yeah. It's not like they were getting stellar play from the guys when they were in.
Right, so...
Although they did then get hurt and they went to somebody else and there wasn't stellar play then. And before they could get them up to speed, they got hurt.
That's last year. Who cares? Yeah. I'm just having fun. They are right where they have been for so many years.
7-3, and they ought to win 1, maybe 2 more games. We'll see.
That Arizona game looks
a
tough.
lot. It looks hard. It does. It looks tough.
But I mean, if they went 8-4, so be it. I mean, you don't turn where that program has been. You don't turn back 8-4, as far as I'm concerned. Given the fact that your quarterback was out and your star receiver, he tore, not pulled or tweaked, he tore his hamstring.
Yikes.
They said on Saturday he celebrated a touchdown. And the trainers, and he's not in uniform, the trainers had to attend to him. Yeah.
Because he was pumped up. Somebody else scored.
Right. Yeah. He needs to get himself healthy. In fact, he needs to say, guys, thanks a lot, but I got other stuff here.
Yeah.
He shouldn't play, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
No.
Well, torn hamstring, I don't think he's going to.
He should be done.
Yeah.
He's got millions down the line that he needs to get ready for.
First round NFL draft pick.
Right. So if he came out and said, I'm done, I would say bravo. That is 100% the right decision when you got a torn hamstring and you're down to the end here and you're probably going to go to one of these, middling bowl games. No, but he shouldn't even play against the Cats. If I'm Dillingham, I said, no, you're done. But the Utes, they've got a great rep because it's all been earned. And if the silver lining is if you don't get into the playoff, you'll be talked about probably more than ever.
DJ PK, it's 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Bronco Mendenhall joins us next. More on the playoff possibilities with Shehan Jayaraja coming up at 9 o'clock right here on The Zone.